So you feel that you are not making progress in the language you are learning. Let's say here that you are learning English, but you feel stuck in the same level forever and you have no hope of getting out of it. What is happening with you? Well, you may be in what we call the plateau. Yes, the plateau. But you may ask me, what is the plateau? Can you explain it to me? Yes, of course I can do it. So the plateau is when you reach a level. Normally, I would say here the intermediate level, and where you don't feel that you are making progress in the language. You feel stuck, like you don't go forward in the process. And you think, oh, I'll never learn the language because I cannot get out of this stage. In this video, I will help you, especially with that point. I will help you to get out of the plateau level. And again, for me, the plateau happens in the intermediate going to the advanced level, because that's the point. You do not feel that you're making progress. You do not feel that you are going from the B2 or from the B1, B2 to the C1 level. You feel stuck in a process. How can you get out of it? My first tip is keep listening to the language as much as possible. So to really get out of it, you need to listen and really consume content in the language. And how can you do it? Well, there are some tips here inside this one. Listen to content you like with and without subtitles. I'll give you a step by step of what you should do. Let's say here that you speak Portuguese as your mother tongue. You go and watch the video in Portuguese. But if there is no video in Portuguese about what you like, you can watch the video in English, but the subtitle in Portuguese. And after you finish doing so, you go and rewatch the video with English subtitles. And then you finish the process by listening to the same video one more time without subtitles at all. When you listen to it with Portuguese subtitles, you are trying to understand what the person is talking about or what the video is talking about. When you listen it with English subtitles, you are learning the language, actually doing so. And when you rewatch it for the third time without subtitles, you are getting your brain so much input, so much food, and at the same time sending him this message, or sending it this message. I need you to get used to the sounds of the language, to the speed of it, because in real life situations, subtitles will not be possible. So do this step by step. Watch in the language you know, in your mother tongue, or with subtitles in your mother tongue, then watch it with English subtitles or the language you're learning in the moment, and then rewatch it a third time without subtitles at all. So this is my first tip. And what about my second tip? Read as much as possible too. You need to keep acquiring new words. And how do you do so? By reading. You need to read a lot. But you may say to me, oh, I dislike reading so much that you cannot even imagine it. Well, but who told you that, for example, you need to read only books? You can read articles, magazines, I don't know, scientific things. Just go for what you like, comics, mangas, and so on. But read especially out loud. Why out loud? Because at the same time you are reading, acquiring new words, you are practicing the language, because you need to practice the muscles of your mouth to pronounce the words. And how do I do so? I read words in context in books, and I go and search for the definition of every single word, and I just go for the next one. If you want to jot down, I would say to you, jot down 5 to 10 words every single day. Let's go now to the third and last tip. But before, I'm an English tutor. If you'd like to learn the language or just have conversation classes, I can help you. I'll include my email in the description box. But you may say to me, I don't have the means to pay for a private tutor. Well, I do classes by exchanging some things. Let me say here that you have electronic or something that I would like to have or that I really enjoy, for example, video games. I can exchange classes for electronics or for anything of my interest. That being said, let's go now to the last one. Speaking. You need to practice speaking too. How do you do so? By talking. Yes, you need to talk with people. You need to expose yourself to the real life, to the real language by speaking. And again, how can you do so? Talking with somebody, a tutor or a friend, if you don't have the means to hire a tutor. You can use AI too, or you can talk in front of the mirror as I used to do. These are my tips to get out of the plateau level.